With Reagan and Gorbachev, you know, it's worth noting, a lot of people may have forgotten or may never have known that Ronald Reagan was obsessed with UFOs. I mean, absolutely, totally obsessed. He had at least one vivid sighting himself, and I think two, actually. One as governor of California in the 70s, and he was in a little Cessna plane, and he and his pilot and two other guys on the plane saw this object, white object, come in, zigzagging. And here's the thing about Reagan. Say what you want about him, whether you love him or hate him. You gotta like this. Reagan says to the pilot, "Let's go after it." He actually did.
Well, that's a cowboy for you.
There you go, right? So, but basically what happened is the object just shot straight up into the atmosphere. Yeah. Reagan was so jazzed up by this. I mean, he was really pumped. So a week later, he's on a flight with this journalist from the Washington Post, or Wall Street Journal, I think the Post. And they're sitting down. Now, he's governor, he's not president, so this is the 70s. But he's talking about this sighting, to this journalist. And he's explaining, he says, "My God." And then I got off the plane and I told Nancy about it, and we looked up all the history of UFOs. And the journalist, a guy named John Miller, looks at Governor Reagan. He says, "Governor, are you telling me that you believe in UFOs?" And the journalist later said, at that moment, Reagan's face totally changed. And it was like he realized, I better not take one further step here or I'm toast.
Yeah.
And Reagan, he backed away and he said, "Well, I don't know what it was, but it sure was interesting." But Reagan, during his presidency, famously made many, many references, hypothetically, to the existence of, you know, if aliens visit us, we all have to join together. And that was he called it to his speechwriters, he said, "my fantasy." And he would say, "Please include my fantasy in this speech." And sometimes they would and sometimes they wouldn't. They hated it. But it was an obsession with him, and he did talk to Gorbachev about this.
Right.